Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to have a very quick, I hope, session of doing 8.6 part 1, wherein we factor quadratic trinomials. I got to be honest, factoring quadratic trinomials is probably one of the most important things you need to know how to do. The good news is it's very easy to do if you understand like what you're looking for. So our goal, I'm going to write this down here, is to write two parentheses, and wherein the parentheses are going to have x and x, and then it's going to be plus some number, minus some number, and then plus some number or minus another number. We'll see what it is. And here's how you find out what it is. First step is I'm going to make a big X. And on the top, I'm going to write 12. Bottom, I'm going to write negative 13. Yes, I'm going to write the top thing as the final term, the bottom thing as the middle term, including their signs. And then you have to do a little mental gymnastics called, what two numbers multiply to make 12 but add up to make negative 13? Those numbers are 12 and 1. But they don't make negative 13. Notice when I did that, I only cared about how to make 12. I understood that 12 times 1 is 12, and 12 plus 1 somehow was 13, but the signs aren't quite right. My advice to you is always try and figure out what the thing multiplying is, and then worry about the signs. That being said, once you got 12 and 1, you simply throw them down here. And guess what? You've done it. You factored it. This stuff that you just made as the answer would have been if you distribute it equal to the thing you started with. So I'm going to do a few of these by hand, and then I'm going to probably start skipping to doing them without having to write anything, because these ones are simple enough that they could be mental math. X squared, 11x, 18. So 18 goes on top, 11 goes on bottom. What multiplies to make 18 but adds up to make 11? That would be positive 9 and positive 2. This time I don't need to worry about signs because everything was so positive. And there's my answer, x plus 9, x plus 2. All right, now for another one. Z squared plus 8z minus 20 minus 20, positive 8. Now this one could be tricky. You might have to go through it, and my advice to you is if you're not sure about what could work, make a list. 1 times 20 makes 20, 2 times 10 makes 20, 4 times 5 makes 20, and that's it. If you were to go on, you would say 5 times 4 and 10 times 2, and just it'd be the same combinations anyways. So now you're saying to yourself, okay, how could I make 8? Could the number 1 and 20 somehow add or subtract to make 8? No. Could 2 and 10 somehow add or subtract to make 8? Yes. So 2 and 10. We're going to need some negative on the 2, though, because it needs to be 10 minus 2, and it does work to make negative 20, right? So that means our final answer will be z minus 2, z plus 10. Please be very careful. It's very tempting to use x because x is a thing we commonly end up using in math problems, and here is no exception to the rule. We use x a lot. So don't accidentally use x or we'll mark you wrong. All right. Here, I'll simplify on this one. I won't even write the problem out. What multiplies to make negative 12 but adds up to make negative 1? That would be a 3 and a 4 with a negative on the 4. So my answer would appropriately be y plus 3, y minus 4. Done. Next. Okay. This guy would be what multiplies to make 18, yet adds up to make negative 9. You gotta think it out a little bit. Negative 6 and negative 3 make negative 18, positive 18, yet they multiply to, add to make negative, man, I can't even say a sentence. Let me start that sentence over again. They multiply to make positive 18, but they add to make negative 9. Okay, we'll go even crazier on the last ones. I'll try to do it without even writing anything on my work here. What multiplies to make 20 but adds up to make 9? That would be 4 times 5. So z4 plus 4, z plus 5. Easy enough. All right, we got some double letter ones. Now, this is not any different than anything else. I'll take a step back real quick and write this. 20, negative 12. What multiplies to make 20 but adds up to make negative 12? In this case, it's a negative 10 and a negative 2. So when I go to write my answer, I'm going to write this. I'm going to write x minus 10y, x minus 2y. All a second letter does is requires you to basically append it onto the number that you would normally. Usually it's just x and this, x and that. Well, no, now it's x and this y and x and that y. That's how you get the same structure you're seeing there. So be ready to see problems like this. Totally possible. Okay, last one. What multiplies to make 12 but adds up to make negative 13? Hey, I think I saw that one earlier. Whatever. It's negative 1 and negative 12. So x minus 1y, x minus 12y. Notice the negative 1 and the negative 12 add up to make 13. Yet if you multiply them, it would make a positive. Now in math, it's not cool to put a 1 on front of a variable like that. It's better if you just put x minus y. So I will do that instead. I'm sure Alex would not have marked that wrong either way. Submit. Well, as promised, a quick assignment, probably one of the quickest ones of the year, but something you absolutely have to know, factoring. Oh, we're going to need to do a whole bunch more of these, I feel like. Actually, I feel like I should spend a whole week on this. Okay, well, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you enjoyed that video and it gave you some help. And I will see you on the next one in the future. Thank you very much. Goodbye.